Hello student, we are discussing the third case now, where we are trying to find out the electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Now, like the last case, we are having infinitely long wire. Now we are having a sheet of negligible thickness but of infinite surface area. So we cannot find the total charge, but what we are given is the surface charge density. Because it is uniformly charged, so surface charge density, that is charge per unit area, is constant throughout the surface. So in order to find the field due to this, we consider a small surface area of the given sheet of infinite extent, and we suppose that area of this sheet is A and charge present on the sheet is Q. Then surface charge density sigma, it will be equal to Q by A. We want to find electric field due to this. In order to find out the electric field due to this, first step again we need to have observation point and then the Gaussian surface. So here is the charge present on the sheet of area A. We want to find out the electric field at this particular point P. Because this is a thin sheet holding positive charge. Mind you, this is a sheet made up of some insulator. That is, when charge will be transferred to the sheet, the charge will be present only on one side. For example, this is a sheet which is held like this. Then when charge is transferred to this surface, it will stay only onto this surface. It will not come onto the front surface. But electric field due to this sheet, it will be present on both sides, extending on both sides, being perpendicular to the surface of the sheet, extending in the forward direction and also in the backward direction. So electric field will be directed in the forward direction also. This means that if field is extending towards the right side, a similar P point can also be taken onto the back side of the sheet, where electric field E will also be same. So in order to find the flux, we need to have the Gaussian surface. So what we do, we will draw a Gaussian surface which will be slender in this case, slender of length, which is the distance between the point P and suppose this is P dash. So we draw a cylinder. So when this cylinder passes through or cuts through the sheet, it cuts through the sheet in this small cross-sectional area. So this cylinder also has the three surfaces: first flat surface, second flat surface, and this is the third curved surface. We need to find out the flux through all the three. Now we suppose that A is the area of the flat ends. So when we consider a small area element at the second surface, dA, having its area vector, it points in the direction of electric field. Similarly, a similar area element constructed on the first flat end also points in the direction of electric field. But when this is considered on the curved surface, it is perpendicular to the electric field. So in this case, the total electric flux, it will be equal to integral of EdA for the first surface, second surface and the third surface, which can be written as integral of E dot dA, that is for the first surface EdA first surface we are having E and dA in the same direction, EDA into cos 0, plus for the second surface EDA again into cos 0 because both are in the same direction, plus EDA into cos of 90 degree for the third surface. Field and area vector are normal to each other. So this will be, this whole term will be equal to 0. Cos 90 is 0, cos 0 is plus 1. So we can write it like this: E into dA plus E into dA. Field is constant because these cross section ends are at the same distance from the sheet, so field is constant, so it is taken outside the sign of integration. So we are having dA integral giving us the total surface area cross sectional part, which is capital A. So it will be EA plus EA, which is equal to 2 times EA. So flux is equal to 2 into EA. Now according to Gauss theorem, phi is also equal to Q over epsilon naught. Again, sheet is of infinite size. This means that Q is not the total charge. Q is that charge which is contained only in this particular portion of the sheet. So using this definition of surface charge density, Q is equal to sigma A. So we can write phi is equal to sigma A over epsilon naught because Q is equal to sigma into A. So if we compare these two equations, 2 into EA is equal to sigma over epsilon naught. A and A get cancelled. E gives us sigma over 2 epsilon naught. So this is the electric field due to infinite sheet of charge. Insulated means charge present only onto the one side. Here you can see that even if we consider the distance between the sheet and the flat ends BR on either side, this distance doesn't enter. This means that for a sheet of infinite extent area, the electric field is independent of the location of the observation point. So electric field is same everywhere but perpendicular to the surface of the sheet. An important point you have to remember about this particular case. Here we have considered an insulator sheet. That means when the charge is being transferred to the sheet, it resides only on its one side. So if this charge Q is present, it is present only on one surface, not onto the second surface. But if it is a conducting sheet, when the charge will be transferred, equal amount of the charge will be present on the both the sides. So if charge Q is given, a Q charge will appear onto the one side of the sheet and equal Q charge will appear onto the second sheet also. So in this case, for that particular case, we will have a small change in the derivation up to the point this. Finding flux will remain same, but when we apply Gauss theorem, according to the Gauss theorem, phi it will be equal to Q net over epsilon naught, because charge was present only on one side, so we have written only Q equal to sigma A. But in this case, charge will be present on both sides, Q on one side, Q on to the second side, so total charge will be equal to 2Q over epsilon naught. Again Q is equal to sigma A, so it will be 2 times sigma A over epsilon naught. So if we compare these two equations, E into 2 times EA is equal to 2 times sigma A over epsilon naught. So in this case 2 and A get cancelled. E gives us simply sigma over epsilon naught. So this is for the conducting sheet, which is again independent of the location of observation points. So this difference you have to remember. And also if you compare these two equations, you can clearly see that for the conducting sheet, field is double than that of the non-conducting sheet. Thank you.